What's up? 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 What is up? How are y'all doing today? It is Friday. Y'all know what that means. That means we're going to have us a good old time tonight. I am your host with the most, Emmanuel Noisette. I want to welcome you guys here for the most wonderful, hypest, livest of live chats that you will ever find on the YouTubes and the Facebooks and all the other places that you find us here. Guys, we are here to talk about some news. We are going to talk about we're going to react. So I know a lot of y'all have seen it. I have not. The Rebel Moon trailer, Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon, the trailer has finally come out. So I'm going to watch it for the first time with you guys. We're going to talk about Zack Snyder as well. And then, of course, we got some Equalizer stuff to talk about, amongst other things that we got to go through as well. So we definitely got some good stuff to go through. Now, I got to be honest with y'all. There's not a lot of news because this whole writer-actor strike is kind of holding up some actual good things to talk about. So, yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about that as well. But first and foremost, just for some housekeeping notes, if you're new here, I got a deal for you. Free 99, no tricks, no gimmicks. Go ahead and subscribe. Yes, go ahead and subscribe because that is the one and only way you will be able to join the livest chat on all of YouTube. It is free 99. I'm telling you, you're not going to get a deal like this nowhere else. Okay, this is exclusive and it's only for one night only. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you too can join in, so you can, chime in with your opinions, your thoughts. Talk to the E-fam, talk to me, whatever you want to do. Again, I might not be able to get to everyone's comment, but I do read everything after the live is done. So, if you want to say something and I can't get to you, I'll read it later. But let us first get to who is in the building with us tonight. Let me see. We got my man Toby. What is up? How are you? Good to see you. Dex is back. Always a pleasure. Kimmy, how you doing? Good to see you. Deborah, hello, ma'am. Good to see you as well. Paul, what is up? How you doing? Is he? I guess that's an opinion. Okay, all right. Stephanie Garnett, what is going on, man? Holding it down for the Mod Squad. Thank you so much. Matto, what is up? Good to see you. Eric, what is going on? Good to see you, brother. Rabia, thank you so much for the contribution. I really appreciate that. Always coming through. And welcome. Thank you so much for being here. T-Ville, what is up? How you doing? Oh, so me. What is going on? Come on, guys. It wouldn't be a live chat without Ms. Harper. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here. Christy, good to see you as well. Thank you so much. 60 plus. Thank you so much for being here as well. We got more My Squad in the building with Kristen Pratt holding it down for the replay gang. Thank you so much. And shout out to the replay gang as well. Let's see. Trees, what is going on? Thank you so much for being here. Terrence, what's going on, brother? Thank you so much. Sunspot, how you doing? My man Didier is here. Reese, what is going on? Thank you so much for being here. Violin, what is up? Mr. Hughes, how you doing? Kenny, what's up? How are you? Let's see. We got Rhonda here. Oh, wait, hold on. Rhonda, how's it going? You doing the replay gang and showing some support? Thank you so much. I appreciate you all the time. Appreciate that. Let's see. Jam, what's up? How you doing? We got Mama J in the building. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much. Chris is back. Thank you so much for being here. Optimus Fine. Good to see you. Who else? I saw, there we go. Corey, what is up? Good to see you too. DB, thank you so much for being here. Felicia, thank you so much. I'm glad that you're here. Natalie's back. What is going on? Just left the gym. Thank you so much. And get that work on. Get that workout in. I'm proud of you. Let's see. Nelson V, what is going on? Thank you so much for being here. Let's see. My man AJ's back. What up, Dre? What up? How you doing? Who is that? Philroy. There we go. Thank you so much. Theo, how you doing? Thank you so much for being here. Boss is back. Always a pleasure. Shar, hello. My man Angel, how you doing? And shout out to everyone that has made it out tonight. Like I always say, guys, I really, really do appreciate y'all taking the time to hang out with your boy on this Friday night. It really does mean a lot. Let's see. Do we have any other housekeeping? Oh, okay. So real quick, I should say there is a very good chance that next week we might not have a live. So I'm letting y'all know this now, giving you a heads up. I will try to get one in if I can. Either it might be Saturday, but don't hold me to that. I'm gonna be real with y'all. It's fantasy football week for me. Okay. This is just one of those things where once a year I play my fantasy football, and for that week alone, I am unavailable. Okay. I've talked to the missus. Matter of fact, me and the missus had this conversation before we got married. I was like, look, there's one thing I need out the course of the year, and that is that week for fantasy football. Okay, this is when I draft. This is when I get my teams together. I have to do my study and preparation. This is serious. Okay, this is serious. So I'm just giving y'all heads up. Next week, y'all might not see your boy. Okay, I'm gonna be in them fantasy streets, and I'm gonna be drafting my players. So I'm just letting y'all know that right now. Okay, what else did fun thing over the weekend, well, 2 weeks ago, I went to the fan expo. Shout out to the fans I saw out there that got a chance that I got to meet. Thank y'all so much. It was really dope meeting y'all out there. But guys, this was it for me. I was just so happy. I got to meet Gus. Yes, that's right. I got to see Gus, aka Moff Gideon. You know who he is. It ain't even a question, but I got to meet the legend in the streets. My goodness, y'all. I met Giancarlo Esposito. Oh my gosh. When I tell you, this was great. This was great. And just a little quick thing. So, right before I was able to like go up and meet him, I got a chance to like just talk to him for like 15 seconds. It was nothing crazy, but it was a little bit more than the average person that just be like, all right, take your picture and get out of here. And it was so funny because I walked up to him and I was like, oh my gosh, sir, been a fan of yours since Do the Right Thing, loved all your work and I appreciate what you're doing. This man didn't even talk to me. Listen, all he said to me was like, all right, man, look at the muscles on you. I was like, who you talking muscle? What? He was like, oh, you a big guy, huh? I was like, yes, sir. Okay, sir. All right. This is all this dude saying. I'm sitting here talking about the work, and he's just like, man, you a big like, what is this? And he looked at the shirt. He saw the shirt. Hold on, you see the shirt. He was like, is that you? I was like, you see it? You see the face? He was like, yes, I do. Look at that. I don't know why. It was just a funny thing. He caught me completely off guard. I'm sitting there thinking like he gonna be like, oh, okay, thank you, for the support, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. One of my favorite actors. Enjoyed myself. Had a great time. But it was really cool meeting him. And you know what? I just wanted to mention that, like, I wanted to really make this a concerted effort, because the one thing that I don't like is I didn't want to miss out on an opportunity to give people their flowers while they're here, because I've been going to a lot of different conventions. And one thing that really hurt me the most was when I missed out on Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger, Power Ranger. Every time I'd go to a convention, he was there. He was at everything all the time. And I took that for granted. And I was just like, man, whatever. Like, I went to go see Stan Lee because it was like his last one. And I got that before he passed. And I took Jason David Frank I took him for granted. And that hurt. When he passed away, that really, really did hurt. And I was just like, you know what? At this point, I'm not passing up no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, anytime there's somebody that's coming in town or someone I have access to, I just want to go just to at least go and tell them to their face, thank you. So I did get a chance to say that to Mr. Giancarlo. I also told him that I was there supporting, all the writers and actors during the strike. He also was very appreciative of that. So yes, listen, go meet your heroes. Now, Be careful when you meet your heroes, because sometimes your heroes might say some things that you don't want to hear. But if you have the opportunity, go meet your heroes, at least to just have that moment, to do it for the memories. And give them their flowers while they here. That's all. But anyway, while we are here, oh, wait, hold on. But we got some comments here. Hold on, let's get this. Puma, what you got? So they still on strike. Well, it's Freaky Friday. Time to have fun. Love to E-Man and the Avengers. Recast the child. We're not stopping. Yes, we can. Thank you so much, Puma. Shout out to you for that support. Really appreciate you. AL, if you have the Equalizer, John Wick, taking Liam Neeson, the Transporter, and Jason Bourne locked in a room. Who's leaving out alive? Who goes out first? Okay, this is an interesting question. I didn't anticipate this, but since we ain't got that many topics, we can play with this. I'm gonna say, and y'all feel free to chime in on this too. I'm gonna say Liam Neeson's getting out there first. Like, he just older. He ain't got the moves like that. He out of there. So you can kick him out. Transport is gonna make a good fight. He gonna do a good fight. Him and Jason Bourne, I'd love to see that. But I feel like Transport is gonna whoop Jason Bourne's tail. Because Jason Bourne be going against other characters that ain't always as skilled per se. And I feel like Transporter, he just that dude. He gonna take him out. But now you got Equalizer, John Wick, and Transporter. I feel like John Wick gonna take Equalizer out, because unless Equalizer got some prep time, I don't know if Mr. McCall is really gonna be up there. So he out of there. So now you got John Wick versus Transporter. The answer to this is unequivocally John Wick, mainly because it doesn't matter who you put up against him. John Wick is protected by the greatest superpower in all of action movies: plot armor. There's no way John Wick loses anything. He always wins. He has to win. So by the definition of who John Wick is, he's got to win. That's the Baba Yaga right there. He got to win. So I'm going to go with John Wick on this. Again, only because of plot armor, not because of skills, just plot armor. John Wick for the win. But if y'all feel differently, let me know. Feel free to go ahead and let me know in the comments. Great question. Thank you so much for that, AL. I appreciate you. Rhonda, what you got? I understand that. I passed on going to see Prince. Oh, and that's when he dies here in Atlanta. No, Prince. Oh, I'm really glad I was able to see him. Okay, at least a few times. Okay. At least you did get to see him. Okay. I thought you just passed on him and that was like your only time, but at least you got him. Okay. That's fine. Listen, as long as you get that one time, you're always going to have that memory. Like that's one of the reasons why, like, when Janet Jackson came out here, I know it cost me like 15 mortgage payments, but I was like, look, it's Janet. Like, I missed out on Michael. I can't miss on Janet. Like, at least I can say I seen it and it was worth it. And I got to meet her too. It's really cool. It's really, really cool. Meet Janet Jackson. Just letting y'all know that's really cool. All right. So let's move on to our first topic. So, in case y'all didn't know, this Sunday is National Cinema Day. Now, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I've been doing this movie thing for a long time. I didn't know there was any National Cinema Day all this time. Like, I don't even, did they just start this? Because I have no idea. Either way, that does not matter. What matters is what this means for you. This means that where you go to your local theater, potentially $4 per ticket. $4 per ticket. Okay. And it says here an estimated 30,000 theaters across the country are offering movie tickets for new releases and films already out for just $4. $4. It's any format too. So you can go see Oppenheimer in IMAX for $4. You could take a family of 4 to go see a movie in 3D for $4 a ticket. And a lot of these theaters are also doing discounts on concessions. First of all, you had me at concessions. Okay. The $4 tickets, trust me, that's definitely a steal because $5 Tuesdays was a nice thing. $4, that's cool. But you mean to tell me that we also gonna get a discount on concessions too? Listen, listen. I'm gonna do that. I don't know what's playing in theaters. I'm mad because I just took my daughter for her birthday to go watch Blue Beetle, and oh my god, it was so sad. Nobody was in there. You could literally count how many people were in the theater with us watching Blue Beetle. That was so sad to me. But either way, my kids have been talking about they want to go see Mario or something in theater. I might, listen. That makes a big difference. Okay, I be trying to tell folks about why certain movies make more money now versus others. It's them tickets and them concessions. If I know that I have a family, it's 5 of us. So if I'm sitting here thinking to myself, oh, okay, we're gonna go watch a movie, that's like $200. Everybody want their own popcorn, everybody want their own drink, everybody want, their own food and this, and I'll be like, y'all just ate. Why? Like, we listen, y'all better go bring some of them little animal crackers and put them in your pocket or something, But either way, this right now, this is looking like a deal. I like it. So I don't know. Y'all tell me, what do you think about the National Cinema Day, $4? By the way, I'm gonna post this in the comments. This is the link. So go ahead and check in the comments. This link is where you can look up your local theaters that are honoring this National Cinema Day. So you can go ahead and see where whatever theater is doing what near you. So feel free to go check that out. And you know what? Listen, I'd say this: like, if there was anything to go watch, I'd probably say Blue Beetle is definitely worth watching. Y'all already saw my review, probably. I ain't saying it's the greatest movie in the world, but I do feel kind of bad that it's not doing as well in the theaters. And stuff like this would be a perfect excuse for people to just go watch it. $4. They ain't gonna hurt nobody. Go hit up that $4 holla. Okay. But anyway, y'all let me know, what do you plan on going to see with this $4 National Cinema Day? Does this actually encourage you? Because I'm also wondering this. If everybody turns up for National Cinema Day or whatever, is that going to send a good message to the theaters to be like, if you lowered your money, if you lowered the prices, people might come back. People might come back a little bit more often if y'all would just lower the tickets a couple more times. Just, something. I don't know. Whatever it is, y'all let me know what you gonna watch in the comments down below. Let's see. Puma. Yeah. Rest in peace to Bray Wyatt. Bray kind of came into the wrestling game after I stopped watching wrestling actively. So I only kind of loosely knew of him. But either way, that guy died way too early. I think it was of a heart attack or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, rest in peace to him, because that was just, nobody needs to be going out that early. That's just ridiculous. So condolences to his family and all that. Let's see. Let's see. Any hope that they say that T'Challa who died was a scroll allowing him to come back? So I actually have a whole video on this because this is a popular question after Secret Invasion. And maybe, I guess you missed it, and that's fine. The answer is no. I think that there is a incredibly small, little to no chance that T'Challa is going to be called a Skrull. Marvel doesn't have the guts. I don't think that they have the guts to do that. They went again. Marvel made the decision to make Chadwick's death bigger than what it was. They wanted to make Chadwick's death also T'Challa's death. They made it into a bigger thing rather than keeping the two things separate. So because they dug that hole, they're not about to go back and be like, all right, we made a whole production about Chadwick and T'Challa dying. Oh, by the way, psych, he was a Skrull all this time. They're not going to do that. They're not. So that's on them based off of their decision making. And unless they want public backlash, now let me be clear, I would have no problem with that. If you told me T'Challa was a Skrull, I'd be like, cool, that makes a lot of sense. Because it does sound like something T'Challa would do to go do a secret investigation on the invasion and all. That's in the comics. But Marvel doesn't have the guts. They don't have that. Marvel Studios, I should say. They don't have the guts to do that. So do not get your hopes up. Do not sit here and think about all these possibilities of a T'Challa Skrull. It ain't happening. It ain't. Not with Marvel Studios, unless they get bought out and somebody else comes in. They're not going to do that. So, as much as it makes logical sense, emotionally, they're not going to do it. So, yeah, I'm going to say a big fat no on that one. But thank you so much, AL. I appreciate you. All right, what else we got here? As you guys know, the strike has continued, and that's with the writers and the actors. And with the strike is, well, inevitable, and we've talked about this before, you're gonna have delays. There's always gonna be delays with this, and that is partially a strategic thing for the studios to do, because if y'all ain't got no movies, if y'all don't have nobody to promote your stuff, if y'all don't have nobody to write your stuff, the best thing you could do is move that movie over, because it's gonna tank. Unfortunately, even though I don't think this would have helped Blue Beetle, but Blue Beetle is suffering right now because the actors can't even promote it. You got these young actors, probably with their big social media platforms, and they can't even tweet about it. They can't even post about it. They can't even TikTok about it. They can't do nothing because of the strike. So with little to no promotion and little to no advertising, that's going to hurt your movie. Look at Barbie. Barbie is a perfect example of how good marketing can really help a movie. Now, again, Barbie already has like a household name. Everybody knows Barbie, so that was already in the works. But if you look at what happened with Oppenheimer as well, the second Oppenheimer got associated with Barbie, that gave Oppenheimer, I believe, yet another step up in terms of visibility. Because the people, I'm more than convinced that the people that were going to go watch Barbie probably weren't even thinking of Oppenheimer. But there were reports out there that said that Barbie, when it sold out, people was like, well, might as well go check out Oppenheimer. Why? Because you had all this marketing about Barbenheimer. They were putting them all together, doing all the memes and the trending and stuff like that. So good marketing can go a long way. But if everybody's on strike and you can't get nobody to market, it ain't going to work for you. So right now, we do have another victim of the strike, and that is going to be to Warner Brothers' very big, highly anticipated film, and that's Dune Part 2. That is definitely getting moved back, along with some other films. It says here that Dune is going to be pushed back to November. It was November 3rd this year, but it's getting pushed back to March 15th of 2024. It says here that the studios are currently holding on to Wonka, Aquaman 2, and The Color Purple. Those movies are still going to hold on to their December dates. Wow. And they're all in December, like December 15th, 20th, and 25th. Like, y'all just going to compete with each other like that? And that's even if the strike still lingers. Now, The Color Purple, whatever. I'm not really having high hopes on that one. I don't know what that's going to do. Wonka, I don't really care. Aquaman 2. As if Aquaman 2 did not already have enough working against it. Aquaman 2 has been delayed for at least over a year. At least. Okay. Then, I mean, I told y'all all the red flags, yellow flags with Aquaman. Jason Momoa trying to come up with some under the sea, C-SPAN type of nonsense, no villains or whatever. You know, the test the test screenings coming out. People didn't like it. They went back, tried to fix it, screened it again. People walked out. Like, wait, what? Like, if this movie, which is already coming off the heels of a terrible DC trend. The last 3 DC movies have flopped. Actually, you could really say the last 7 have flopped, have just not done well. Some of it because of the pandemic, but not most of it. Aquaman's going to be in trouble. And you have to think about, they are doing reshoots on this, which means they're flooding this with more money, pun intended. They flooding it with more money. And we saw what happened with Flash. When they tried to put more money, they tried to delay it, and it just didn't work out. So I'm a little nervous about Aquaman even more, that they're sticking to that December date. But it also says Doom Part 2 is taking the date previously held by Kong X, or Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire, which now that one's also getting pushed to April 12th. The Dune sequel remains unopposed currently in its new March date. So that's a good thing, right? Like, that's actually what you want. You don't want competition when you're moving to a different date, because now that means if you're the only game in town, people gonna be like, okay, well, I guess I gotta go see this. Now, here's what I was talking about before. It says here that it needs the social media power of its young cast, Dune 2, that is, of Zendaya, Timothy Chalamet, I can't, Chalamet. Okay, Timothy, Florence Pugh, and Austin Butler. The 4 of them together count north of 258 million followers across social media. And Zendaya alone has 71% of that just on Instagram. Wow, 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 wow. So, listen, the studios can keep delaying this stuff, but at the end of the day, if y'all don't come to a deal, if y'all don't just hurry up and make some negotiations work, y'all gonna be losing out even more money. Okay, because like, if you don't have, it's one thing to sit here and argue with the writers. You could argue with the writers, but if y'all ain't got no actors, and you see the leverage, the actors are damn near free marketing for you. Zendaya typing just one little thing, go see my movie, to all the millions of people. That's a big deal. That is a huge deal. You'd rather pay an actor, I don't know, a couple $100,000 for a tweet, for a post on social media, rather than let me go pay millions of dollars for a TV commercial. Like, for what? And you don't even know if that TV commercial is going to have the same appeal. So listen, y'all better quit playing with these actors. Y'all better hurry up now, because this ain't no game no more. They losing money. But hopefully by the time this movie comes out and others, hopefully they get a deal sooner than later. I don't know. But y'all let me know, how are you feeling about this delay? Were you even checking for Dune 2? I'm still a little curious about that, because I don't know. I haven't, outside of like the hardcore film fans, I haven't really heard the general audience really being like, y'all got some more of that Dune. Like, are y'all checking for Dune like that? Whatever. Let me know in the comments, because I don't know if people really care. I don't know, but y'all let me know. All right, let's see. Puma Lee, MCU could do anything, so recast the T'Challa. Let's do it. Yeah, okay. Don't. Yeah, okay. I think. Let me tell you something. The MCU has already shown you who they are. What did Maya Angelou say? When people show you who they are, believe them. Like, believe them. They've shown you that they will go against common sense. They will go against things if it suits them emotionally. So if something's funny to them, it doesn't matter if the metrics say, yo, more serious movies make you more money and they're more critically well received and fans really like them. Nah, we gonna go silly. It doesn't matter if the logic has already said, yo, there were multiple ways y'all could have honored Chadwick without killing him and all that stuff, but they went the other way. So, you know, they gonna do what they want to do. They could do anything, but they gonna do what they want to do, and that's just what it is. Thank you, Puma. I appreciate you. Rega. So, okay, so it's not just me trying to. I can listen. I struggle with Shalama. Shamalamala. Yeah, I don't know. I tried. And I should know this too, because it's French. You know, I should. I think it's Shamala. Shamala. I don't want to play that game. But thank you so much. Let's see. Oh, that's cool. Reese, my man, what you got? Let's see. Chadwick's anniversary Monday. Chadwick gets his Hollywood star. Oh, in 2024. Awesome. So you and your dad are going on opening day. That is awesome. And I appreciate the invite. I appreciate that so much. But my goodness, Reese, thank you so much. And I appreciate your continued support for Chadwick, man. I'm pretty sure him and the family definitely appreciate that as well. Let's see, Rhonda, what you got? Okay, so this is what you do: get large popcorn and a large drink, and then get courtesy trays and cups. Our family consists of 6. That's a bank loan. Yes, it is. Thank goodness my son works at Regal. Oh, so first of all, you got the extra hookup then. You know, okay. But that's not a bad plan. That's not a bad plan. I like that. I might have to listen. I might have to pass that down, you know, to the wife and let her know the new game plan. But thank you, Rhonda. I appreciate that. Let's see, talented one. What you got? Got to catch the replay, but just drop through for the offering. Thank you so much. I keep hearing about this FF. I don't know what FF is. Oh, Fantasy Football Life. But I don't see an EFAM Fantasy Football League. You want none. First of all, don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do that. I want things to remain copacetic with us. Okay. I don't want no issues. And I don't want to cause any strife within the family. That's why you don't see it. Okay. Because listen, when it comes down to fantasy football, it's a whole different animal. Okay. This it's not the same E-Man. Okay, y'all not gonna see the cheese movies. That it's a different game. Okay, it's a different game. So I don't want to do that with y'all. You know, like it. You know how they be saying like, you don't go into business with family. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. Like you don't want to go compete with family either. Okay, so because and here's the other thing. I play for money. I don't play them little rinky dink, 10 teams and, you know, for free. And, let's just have some fun, guys. No, I'm here for blood. I'm here for blood and dollars. Okay, that's all I'm here for. I'm blood, dollars, and touchdowns. That's what I do with fantasy football. It's not a game. Okay, it's not a game for me. Sorry, got me a little. Okay, all right. So just take it easy there. Just take it easy. I like y'all. That's what I'm saying. I like y'all. I don't want to, because then y'all gonna be coming in here. Man, I gotta unsubscribe because E-Man kicked my butt so bad. I don't want that to happen. Can we stay peaceful, please? Now let's move on to another topic. We gonna stay on these studios because y'all, the studios are getting desperate. Now, I don't think it's any stretch of the imagination, or I don't think it's an understatement to say that in all of this talk about the strike, the studios don't be looking all that good. The writers, we're talking about working class people that probably they say the average is like $26,000 a year, which is straight up that's poverty level. Okay, I'm below poverty. You're talking about actors, and no, we're not talking about The Rock and Tom Cruise and Tom Hanks and Scarlett Johansson. We ain't talking about the rich one. We're talking about the 160 members in the Actors Fund that barely can get health care. Okay? So we're talking about these people that usually we can relate to with their struggles. But when it comes to the studios, We really talking about a handful of million to billionaires, people that make 70 something $1,000 per day, per day, per day. Okay. We're talking about studios and people in those positions that don't even want to have the conversation about residuals. They don't want to have the conversation about sharing information about how well or poorly a show did. We're talking about people who find workers' demand for fair compensation as being unrealistic. We're talking about people who would like to use AI to digitally own an actor's work and only pay them for one day, but use that work in multiple other projects for perpetuity. So, again, to say that the studios don't have the best light on them right now is not far-fetched to say. They're not painted in the best light. So they need some help. And apparently, that's what they went out and did. They went out and got some help because the AMPTP hires new crisis PR firm as strike goes on. It says here that the studios has hired a prominent Washington, D.C. based crisis management firm to assist its messaging effort as the double actors and writers strike grinds with no end in sight. Yikes. Yikes. They went and called Olivia Pope. Y'all image is so bad that y'all needed a PR firm to help y'all. Like, isn't that usually a sign that maybe what you're doing is just not right? Like, if you're out there saying something and whatever your position is, whatever your message is, it's coming back with negative feedback. It's painting you in a negative light to the rest of the world. Nothing is sinking in to let you just come to the conclusion that maybe, just maybe, y'all could be wrong. Or maybe y'all are out of touch. I mean, nothing? Hold on. Somebody said something great. I love it. Olivia Pope on strike too. Damn. She is. That's the iron. I'm glad somebody caught that, by the way. I'm glad somebody caught that. Oh my God. Like, no, but seriously, this is ridiculous to me that rather than trying to fix the problem, you want to go higher because y'all got to pay money rather than paying the writers and paying the actors. You'd rather go pay a PR firm to help you with the bad image that you created and you not stopping. You're not stopping it. This ain't a good look. That y'all have to go hire a PR firm because y'all image is already trash. So you make it make sense. I don't understand. Y'all let me know. What do you think about the studios getting their own little, scandal peoples to help them out with this? Is this a good look? Do you think that they needed it? Should they, I don't know. Whatever you think, let me know in the comments down below. Hold on. Let me get this here. Shout out to my man Terrence. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate you. Says back from vacation, eFam. Thank you so much for the $10 cash app. Really appreciate the support, sir. All right, let's move on. Now, I had skipped this topic before, and I was gonna do it. Last week, but there was like nothing else to really talk about. And y'all let me know. I'm gonna let y'all vote on whether you want to talk about this or not. Y'all heard about the whole blindside controversy and stuff that's been going on, right? Like the whole Michael Orr thing. Do y'all want to talk about it? If not, it's fine. You hit me with a 1 if you want to talk about it. Hit me with a 2 if you don't. I know it's old news, and there hasn't really been very much news about it. There was some irony behind it, but y'all just let me know, just real quick. Do y'all want to talk about the blind side? So if you don't know nothing about it, hit me with a 1. I'll talk about it. But if it's old news, y'all don't really care, we can move on. It's not a big deal. I'm seeing 1. Okay, I'm seeing more 2s than 1. So just for people, I'll give you a quick roundup. Michael Orr, basically the dude that was in The Blind Side. This was the character that was played. Sandra Bullock played his mama. Basically, he was never adopted, and he only had the conservatorship or whatever, which is the same thing that Britney Spears had. And he was like, he ain't make no money off of the movie. And of course, this is in stark contrast to what the movie portrayed, because the movie portrayed him as being in this loving family that was taking care of him. But of course, he's saying, nah, they just took advantage, blah, blah, blah. Here's the reason why this is barely news. The family was like, yo, this is kind of insulting that he's making these claims and stuff, but we love him, so we're going to give him whatever he wants. Case closed. Okay, that's it. Like, and here's the other thing. The family was already rich. Like, they lived at in Mississippi or something like that, or Tennessee or whatever, where they live. And the dad made like $200 something million selling his restaurant. You live out there with $200 something million, you might as well be a billionaire. They didn't need his money. So whatever, it's over with, it's done. Yeah, we're gonna skip that. And shame on whoever was out there trying to talk about Sandra Bullock had to give back her Oscar award or whatever for it. Like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, why? She was an actor. Like, she played a role. Like, why she got to give back her Oscar because of these accusations and stuff like that? Stop it. That was just ridiculous. Anyway, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. Listen, I'm trying to respect y'all time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be going through stuff. If y'all don't care about it, listen, we can move on. But we do need to talk about this real quick. This is also old, but at the same time, it's a continuation of the people's superhero. Not my superhero, but the people's superhero. Because I don't know who elected this man to talk so much and so often. How many times do we have to talk about Zachary Levi? Like, I remember the first time we talked about him, I want to say it was when he started calling out The Rock. And it was just like, bro, like, be quiet. Like, you were sitting here throwing The Rock under the bus. Y'all are in the same studio. Y'all are colleagues. You don't know. Maybe The Rock could give you a job one day. He has his own production studio. The last thing you want to do is go sit here and throw another actor under the bus just because your movie didn't do that well. But okay, maybe that was a one-time thing or whatever. And then all of a sudden, this man started talking about the actor strike and all this stuff. And he just started just talking off the side of his neck. Right after Stephen Amell did it, this man was like, yo, hold my beer. I don't like all this striking and stuff. Bro, shut up. You in the strike right now. Don't nobody want to hear your comments after the fact. You should have been talking all that before y'all went on strike. Just when I thought he couldn't find a way to stop putting his foot in his mouth, I'll let the headline speak for itself. Shazam star Zachary Levi calls out Hollywood for output of garbage content. Sir. Okay, maybe they took this out of context. Maybe they took this out of. Let's read the quote because it has to be out of context, right? Like, tell me this ain't what it is. He said here at this convention, I personally feel like the amount of content that comes out of Hollywood that is garbage, they don't really care enough to actually make it great for you guys. They don't, sir. This you? This you right here? No? Huh. Okay. I was just I was just wondering if that was this was him, right? Like this was his movie, right? Like it that was that was him, right? Okay. I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure that we was on the same boat. Now, let me clear something up though, because I know somebody gonna be like, but the audience score is at 80 something percent, man. That means everyone loved it. No, it don't. No, it don't. No, it don't. Because let me explain to y'all how to read Rotten Tomatoes that a lot of people get wrong. Okay. Yes, the critics didn't like something, but the fans loved it. Okay, blah, blah, blah. I already told y'all about that nonsense between critics versus fans. It's two different things. Okay. Critics go in to evaluate a movie, it's almost like work. Fans go in for enjoyment, for fun. It's two different things. So stop trying to compare the two. And not to mention, don't nobody have an issue when both of them agree. Okay. But let's look at the key details here. Notice the very big thing. Yes, that's nice. Ooh, 86%. Oh, that's lovely. That gives the false impression that just everybody loved it. Wrong. Look at this right here. 2,500 verified ratings. All this means is you need to see how many people actually saw this. Now, I want to compare this. I want to compare this to other movies so you can have a scale of what this means. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse made a whole lot of money. It was rated very well. Look at this. Woo, look at them numbers. 10,000. 10,000 people, fans. I'm just going off of fans now. 10,000 showed up, watched the movie, went on to Rotten Tomatoes, and that's where they were able to rate it. And you got 94%. Okay. There's a very big difference between 2,500 people showing up and 10,000 plus showing up. And let's get even bigger so you have a bigger idea of how this range is. Avengers Infinity War, 50,000 people. 50,000. Okay? 50,000. So I want you to understand that the percentage and the total number of people watching makes a difference. This 86 does not compare to like any of these other numbers. Okay? An 86% with 2,500 fans does not compare to an 86% with 50,000 fans. This also means a lot of people didn't come see your movie. A lot of people didn't even bother. So, sir, garbage? Garbage? Just, I don't know why people keep giving him a mic. Like where's his agent? Where's his agent to just be like, bro, just show up, take some pictures, autograph, and leave. Tell them you got a sore throat. Tell them you can't tell them you got COVID in the throat. Whatever. You can't talk no more. Because you're gonna talk yourself out of jobs. All right. Anyway, y'all let me know. How do y'all feel about Zachary Levi's comment about the garbage coming out of Hollywood? I don't even like I don't even understand the point of his commentary. Like it's more distressing to me that you're talking about the garbage, but you don't even recognize that you were in garbage. Like, I would actually have more respect for what he was saying if he could be like, you know what? My movie didn't really do very well, but you know what? That's kind of part of the business. It happens. You know who? Oh, God, who was the dude's name? Chris O'Donnell. Chris O'Donnell came out, and what were they in? He was in Batman, I think Batman and Robin or whatever, or Batman Forever, whichever one he was. I had so much respect for this man when he came out and was like, you know what? My Batman movie, it sucked. It was bad, and I apologize. I was like, oh, I didn't know I needed that. Thank you. I cannot tell you how much I love it and appreciate it when an actor can step outside of all the promotion, step outside the marketing, and just be honest. If your movie sucked, it sucked. It's okay. It happens. Everyone's not going to hit a home run with every movie. And even if you like it, it can still be bad. Just say that. But this dude out here, Zachary Levi living in some sort of delusionary world, not to realize, even if you personally like this movie, it sucked. It did not do well. It did not resonate enough with general audiences, because no matter how artistically great and sound a movie can be, if it does not resonate with the people, why are you even making the movie? What is the purpose of making movies? It's to resonate and communicate something with other people. Well, if you done sat here and, created some beautiful piece of art and nobody cares about it, it's not a good movie. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Moving on, another highly anticipated movie I know y'all can't wait to see, Kraven the Hunter. We did get a quick update about this from the director. I'm sorry. I almost tried to pretend like this was legitimate and like I cared about this story. Okay, I'm gonna keep trying. Kraven the Hunter is coming out. And it does star Aaron Taylor Thomas, or is that his name? I forget. But the director ended up saying that Kraven is described as having a tragic story. Let's see what he said here. He said here that Sony probably doesn't want me to lead with this, but the story is a tragedy. When the final credits roll on this film, if you've been paying attention, you won't have the feeling that this is going to end great. I already am going in with the feeling that this isn't going to start great either. Where's Spider-Man? If y'all don't have Spider-Man in here, what makes you think I'm supposed to care about this? I for the life of me, I still don't understand what is going through the executives in Sony's mind to say, you know what we gonna do? We gonna sell Spider-Man spinoff movies without Spider-Man. Hey, we done opened up a whole multiverse with a whole lot of Spider-Man that we could use at any time. But we gonna sell these movies without Spider-Man, and people gonna love it. Venom 2, Morbius, Kraven, Madam Web, El Muerto, Disco Inferno, or whatever the hell he's called. But you think that, so one thing that was also reported about this was that this is going to be a story before Kraven meets Spider-Man. That's where this film takes place. I still don't know why we should care. Like, this director is saying that the end of this is going to be tragic, but in order for it to be tragic, we have to be invested. And I don't know if I can be invested in a spin-off Spider-Man movie without Spider-Man. Why are y'all still doing this? Like, I really want to interview with one of the executives and just ask them why. If I ever get blessed with the opportunity to talk to anyone on these Sony projects, ooh, let me talk to Amy Pascal because y'all know Amy gonna talk. Let me talk. Well, I got 2 questions for her. I ain't gonna say the questions because I know some people watching, they gonna steal them. But I would have 2 questions that I know everybody want to know the answers to. And I would, oh man. But do y'all care about I'm sorry. Does this pique your interest in the character of Kraven and his movie, knowing that the end potentially is going to be a tragic one in some way, sense, or form? I don't know. If it does, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if it doesn't, feel free to let me know your thoughts there too. All right. Puma, I need villains to be villains and not anti-heroes. You know what? Here's my thing, because like I'm with you on this, right? I'm with you on this. My belief is that I don't think you can take anti-heroes and then make them villains. I don't think that that's a good approach. The appeal, think about it like this. The appeal with most anti-heroes, because there's a difference between an anti-hero and an anti-villain. Like an anti-hero is what Sony is trying to make these characters out to be. In other words, they are heroic, but they do some things that are a little shady that Superman wouldn't do, right? So maybe they kill people, maybe they torture people, but they usually are doing it for the greater good. Villains are just bad dudes. They just don't care. They doing what they do, and that's it, right? And when it comes to Kraven, you know, at least from the comics, like one thing that was interesting was like he just did not care about animals. You know, like he cared, but he was a hunter, and like he just killed them for sport. You know, like PETA would have a real big problem with this dude, right? If y'all thought high evolutionary was an issue, Kraven should be that issue, but he's not, because they trying to make him into some, I don't know, environmentalist, animal lover, blah blah blah, whatever. But I think that this whole approach is problematic because think of it like this. Look at Venom. Ugh. Imagine Venom starting off as an anti-hero, right? So he's somebody you kind of sort of cheer for. And then now he has to go against Spider-Man, right? Eventually. How does that work? Because to me, I'm sitting here thinking to myself like, well, if you've conditioned the audience to like Venom, but now you're having them fight against Spider-Man, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of in wrestling, right? They have heels and baby faces. Baby face is the good guy, a heel is the bad guy, right? And for my wrestling fans out there, do y'all remember when The Rock went up against Hulk Hogan? You had 2 iconic figures. The Rock, he was currently, you know, he's popular. He's like the main guy. Then, of course, you got the legend with Hulk Hogan, and you got them in the ring. And it's kind of awkward because it's like, as a fan, I like to see the good guy go against the bad guy, and then whoever wins, wins, and whoever loses, loses. But if you got an anti-hero, somebody you got us cheering for, going against the hero that we automatically gonna cheer for, what are you doing? I feel conflicted as the audience at that point. Because now I'm sitting here looking and I'm like, what? So it's a terrible, in my opinion, it is a terrible path that Sony has tried to play with this, because now you have the other challenge. Are you going to turn these anti-heroes into villains? Because if you do, I don't really know if I believe you. And now you're creating more work for that character to go through to become evil, right? If you make Venom, now that he's what are they, buddies for hire, whatever it is, if you have them go from anti-hero to villain, are you going to believe in that turn? Will you believe in that character being that sinister type of character that now you're cheering Spider-Man to defeat him? It's too much work. It's too weird. You know what was also kind of weird? I'll give you another example within this universe. Remember when they showed you Vulture? They just got done showing you Vulture in Spider-Man Homecoming, who was a great villain. Shout out to the GOAT, Michael Keaton, GOAT Batman. Great villain in Homecoming. But what happened at the end of Homecoming? This guy turned his, he was like, yo, Spider-Man tried to protect my daughter. And I'm not gonna reveal his identity. I like the kid. Okay, cool. Right? Like now we can kind of mess with Vulture like that. He went from villain to anti-villain. That's okay. But then you go to Morbius. And in Morbius, you had that stupid, post-credit scene where you have the Vulture sitting there talking about like, hey, let's tag team against Spider-Man. Why? Now maybe they doing some multiverse stuff potentially, but it just does not make sense. It does not make sense. I'm sorry, DJ, what you say here? Explain the anti-villain. Okay, anti-hero. Anti-hero would kind of be like the Punisher, right? The Punisher is a guy who goes after bad guys. But actually, I'll give you the whole range. Hero, Superman, Captain America, they gonna do the right thing no matter what, right? Anti-hero, Punisher, he's gonna do the right thing, but he gonna break some laws and he gonna break some bones. He gonna do some things. Even Batman could potentially be an anti-hero. He's not that idealistic, right? He might have some morals, but he gonna bend some rules. Villain, Dr. Doom, Joker, people that don't care. They just gonna do what they do, and they don't care how evil they are. They just bad guys. Anti-villain. An anti-villain would probably be someone like Loki. When you look at Loki in the MCU, what was he doing? Loki was really just a trickster. Loki was, he was also under the mind control or whatever. But Loki just wanted to get back at his brother. Loki's not internally an evil person. He just wants what he wants. And sometimes he'll actually do the right thing and not go completely evil. So that's what an anti-villain is. An anti-villain is someone who does not go all the way evil and sometimes might mess around and do the right thing. I'll give you a better example. Deadshot in Suicide Squad, Will Smith's character. He's an assassin for hire. But is he going to kill little kids? Is he going to, do the wrong thing? No. He's going to do the jobs because he's still doing something for his daughter. Yeah, he got to kill people. Yeah, he got to murder. Yeah, he got to break some laws, but he's still a good guy-ish. So that's kind of like an anti-villain. So I hope that makes sense. No, actually, Deadpool is an anti-hero because Deadpool tries to do the right thing. Now he screws up a lot, but ultimately he tries to do more good than bad. So Deadpool, I believe, would be more of an anti. Now you're not wrong. He started as a anti-villain, or maybe more of a villain. But now, at least from the movie perspectives, Deadpool is more of an anti-hero. So I'm going off of the movies. But yes, you got it, Kenny. All right, we got a couple comments here. Let's grab these. Let's see here. Famous, what you got? I have no craving for any more Sony superhero movies. Sony, please sell all your characters to someone else. Just stop. Shaking my head. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get the logic. I don't get it. Now, I think that there is some hope for the TV side because they did sell to Amazon their Silk series. That's a female Spider-Man spinoff. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Sony actually owns The Boys and Invincible. I think. Don't quote me on that. But I think they sold them to Amazon as well. So if that is true, it could be the case that Sony knows what to do. Whoever's running the TV side might know what they're doing, and maybe we just need more Spider-Man content there. But on the movie side, nah, somebody else just need to take over that because it ain't working. It ain't working. But thank you for that. Appreciate you, Mario. Blessings to you, brother E-Man, and to everyone here. Mario, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And right back at you, sir. Thank you so much. Chris, what you got? It's due to Heath's Joker. He was such a good villain. Studio started looking for more villains and trying to find one that they can build on. I wish that were the case, but like they're not. The closest we can get to that is the actual Joker movie, because if you're going to do a spinoff, stay true to the character. And in my opinion, Sony has not stayed true to the characters in a consistent way. Now, or I'm sorry, in a believable way. When it comes to Venom, for example, I don't have a problem that they want to be the lethal enforcers or whatever they want to call themselves, because in the comics, Venom does end up becoming an anti-hero, right? He does end up becoming, I think he works for, was it Shield or Sword? He ends up working for one of those things, but he does end up becoming good. But here's the thing. It's more believable, and it's a better transition, in my opinion, if you go from straight villain to anti-hero versus anti-hero to villain. I don't know if they can pull that transition off. The reason I think Venom got popular in the comics, the reason why it took Spider-Man to another level is because Venom was about that smoke. Venom was like, yo, I know Peter Parker. I know all your secrets. I don't even trigger your spidey senses, your greatest power, and I'm beating your tail on sight every time. And I'm just going to make your life a living hell. That's a villain. That level of villainy is what made Venom popular. But y'all undercut that and took that all away. So how do you get that back when you sitting here having Venom go to clubs and cracking jokes? It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. But no, they should have taken the Heath Ledger's Joker note, but the studios are too afraid. I think they're too afraid to do that, because if you're going to portray any villain, you got to let that villain cook. You know, you cannot be sitting here saying, "Oh, well, we got a villain and we gonna make you like this villain. We're gonna make this villain a hero." And no. If you gonna show me a villain, the reason why I'm attracted to that villain is not because, oh, I think they're doing the right thing. That ain't it. I'm looking at the villain because I'm like, ooh, I can't stand this dude. Ooh, I don't like them. Oh, they bogus. I'm there to hate them. That's the point of a villain. What do y'all think happened? Game of Thrones. Y'all think that we sat here and watched Game of Thrones with Joffrey? You think we watched Joffrey because we thought he was right? We was watching Joffrey because we was waiting for that sucker to get his. I was waiting for him to get got at any point in time. I don't care if somebody just tripped this kid. Somebody needed to punch him in the face. That's what I was looking for, because he played such a convincingly good villain. Don't give me all this anti-hero stuff or anti-villain. I don't care about that. Let the villains cook, please. I want to thoroughly hate them. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate you. DC, what you got? Maybe it's a reverse Avengers lead to Spider-Man, as if Spider-Man is the Thanos of the big picture, and eventually all the bad guys go up against Spider-Man, and that would definitely be an epic 3-hour movie. So let's back up. I think you're absolutely right that they've been trying this. I mean, they've been trying this since the last Spider-Man franchise to build up this Sinister Six. But here's the thing. Where's the buildup? Where's the buildup? Because to me, when Avengers came out and we saw Thanos, turn around and do his little thing or whatever, people were like, oh, okay. And after so many movies and all the little teases, the buildup was there. We was like, oh man, when is this gonna happen? Yo, what is this Thanos dude? He gonna be a problem. Where's the excitement here? We're down 4 movies, and we got 2 or 3 extra other movies that I don't see any excitement with. I don't see any buildup to. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I think you're absolutely right. They are trying to build it up. My thing is, at what point do they realize don't nobody care? And whether or not it's going to be an epic 3-hour movie, I have yet to believe any evidence of that. I have yet to see Sony on their own, that's not animation. I have yet to see them actually show me that they can do a wonderful, great movie with Spider-Man. Now, they did it in the past. They did it in the past, with Sam Raimi. But them days that's a long, it's 20 years ago. That's like 20 years ago. The rest of the movies, they've been kind of, So I'm like, look, at this point, if you think y'all building something up, I mean, I don't know. It seems like a waste of time. I don't feel like if you build it, they will come model will work. And I feel like that's what they're thinking. I think that they're like, yo, we're going to put these movies out there and we're going to build up to a Sinister Six, and that is going to make people want to come and see it. No, good movies make people want to go see other movies. You mean to tell me that if Venom, Morbius, maybe Vulture, Kraven, Madam Web, what was it? Disco Hustler Inferno. What is that called? Whatever. That's your Sinister Six. That's them. Like, that's gonna get the people going. That's provocative. Y'all let me know how that worked. Let me know how that worked. So yeah, DC, you could be right. I think they building it up, but I just don't think that right now. The momentum is in their favor. I just don't see it. Wraith, what you got? If Sony wanted to make a film about a Spider-Man character who is an actual anti-hero, they should have used Puma. Sure. I guess Puma could work. But that's such a obscure character. I think that would work in maybe like animation. Now, if you were to sit here and say Black Cat is probably a better anti-hero because she'll steal, she's like Catwoman, she'll steal stuff, but she'll steal it from like bad guys. That would probably be better. Silver Sable would be a decent one to do if they wanted to do an actual, anti-hero. And I say that because you could use, depending on who you cast, that could also get you eyeballs and stuff too. So, but I don't know if like Puma, the actual character, would like be a winning combination. Puma, you thought that was you? Listen, at this point, and this is no shade to you, because bro, if you get the job, go for it. They mess around and do that. They be like, hey man, let's just go ahead and throw Puma in there. Just go ahead. We ain't got nothing else to lose. Why not? Oh, that's funny. Thank you for that. Thank y'all both. I appreciate y'all. All right, let's move on. Let's get there. Thor 5. Guys, we have been on the roller coaster ride with Thor. Thor 1 came out. Nobody really cared. It was okay. I personally did not like Thor 1. When I tell you I was so bored out of my mind with Thor 1, because in my opinion, the Thor movie should have stayed and built up more of Asgard instead of having Thor come in and just be on Earth for like half of the movie. I did not like Thor 1. Thor 2 came out, and it was kind of like, it started off decent. Like, I like what they did with Thor and Loki. I loved what they did with the characters, but my God, the rest of the movie was atrocious. It just did not work. Then Thor Ragnarok came out. Woo! Thor Ragnarok came in and shook things up. And people was like, oh yeah, Thor is back. We in here. One of the best Thor movies, and arguably one of the best Marvel movies out there. Shout out to Taika Waititi. And then Thor 4 came around. Thor 4 came through and was completely unhinged. For whatever reason, Taika was just like completely unleashed. Screaming goats and cracking jokes, all while people dying of cancer. Hey, moneymaker. You got a whole god butcher that don't even have a butter knife to a god. Wasted Christian Bale. Completely wasted a talented actor with a character that was even further wasted because they didn't do nothing. So a lot of times people were sitting there thinking like, well, y'all got to move on, right? Like, if you do Thor 5, and even Chris Hemsworth finally came out and said, maybe we were a little too silly. Yes. Little, yes. Yes, you were. I'm glad you could at least admit that. But here's the thing. Thor 5. In my mind, I'm thinking Thor 5, if y'all even do it, I need y'all to go back to basics. I'm not saying it's got to be fun. I'm just saying y'all got to find something that's worth watching. And it definitely cannot have all them crazy antics and stuff that Taika had done before. But apparently, Taika got some plans. He got some plans. And even though Thor 5 is not confirmed yet, Taika already has a major goal for its villain. Now, I'm going to be very honest with y'all. I had no idea that Taika was even still in the works. I thought Taika was gone. But let's get this here. It says, as things currently stand, As things currently stand, Thor 5 isn't confirmed to be one of the upcoming Marvel movies, but even so, Taika Waititi has already set a major goal for the villain in this hypothetical project. So let's just make that clear. Taika is not actually attached yet. Thor 5 is not confirmed yet. Let's also keep in mind, Bob Iger did come out and say, after Ant-Man came out and laid an egg, everything don't need a sequel. So whether we gonna do a Thor 5 or not, my question is, for what? What about Thor are you about to show us again? What are you gonna do? But here's what Taika said hypothetically, if Taika were to take this on. What is left to do to him? It's got to be something that feels like it's carrying on with the evolution of the character, which I agree with, but still in a very fun way. And still giving him things to come up against that feel like they're building on the obstacles that he has to overcome. I don't think we can have a villain that's weaker than Hela. I feel like we need to step up from there and add a villain that's somehow more formidable. Wasn't that the assignment for Thor 4? You think now you should have a villain that's more powerful than Hela? You had that with Gore. You had that. You already had a god in Hela that was very powerful. Then you had a person called the God Butcher. They killed gods. And you didn't make that happen. So now you think that it's a brilliant idea to make a new villain stronger? I mean, I don't know if this is like a better late than never type of thing. Like, I'm glad maybe you kind of get this now. But at the same time, I'm like, I also have trust issues. And I'm sorry, but I definitely got trust issues with the fact that you said something that was so scary. A very fun way. Sir, you didn't learn your lesson from the last movie? You didn't like why I gotta be fun? Like, I don't, bro, I don't trust you with Thor and fun anymore. And I'm not saying that Taika is not a good filmmaker. I do believe he is a good filmmaker. I'm just nervous that he might give us another Thor 4. And I'm nervous that the two things that were the biggest problem in Thor 4, too silly and not a good villain, he's saying still got to be in a fun way. We'll try and make the villain a little more formidable. I don't know what that means because I don't know if you really get it. I need to hear from the director. Hey, like, I need somebody to just ask like a straight up, what went wrong with Thor 4 and how would you improve that in Thor 5? Yes, like the villain, okay. But like, what about the whole comedy thing? Are we going to get the same level of comedy? Are we going to get less? What did you learn? I need to know what you learned, because if you don't have that level of insight to see where things messed up, I can't trust you to move forward. It's just like with Zachary Levi talking about all the movies in Hollywood are garbage, but this man don't even realize his own movie flopped and bombed. I can't trust this guy's opinion. I'm not saying that we should throw Taika Waititi out, because I know a lot of times people can get very reactionary and be like, oh, you did bad, so you're fired. We can move on. Like I said, Taika Waititi is still a very good filmmaker. But I need to know, and I said this in my last, 2 weeks ago. I told y'all this too. Kevin Feige gonna have to handhold this whole project. And while he's handholding this, I'm gonna need him to put on his executive boss hat and not the "oh, we cool, we friends" hat. Because all that little kiki, haha, whatever, that's how we got Thor 4. Like, oh, we just gonna let Taika be Taika. No, screaming goats sounds great. Hey, man, I'm gonna need you to go back to the drawing board, just like in phase 2 and 3. I'm gonna need y'all to test these things out with real audiences, not super fans that just laugh and love everything. Real audience people, and find out if these things work or not. Because whatever y'all did last time, it did not work. It did not. So I'm willing to give Taika one more chance, because he did give us Thor 3. And we not going to act like Thor 3 just didn't exist. But you're not going to give me another Thor 4. What they say, what did George Bush say? You fooled me once, but you fool me again. You can't fool me twice. Whatever he said. I'm not going to get fooled thrice. Okay? You're not going to fool me 3 times. So all I know is just give me a good movie, learn from your mistakes, and move forward. That's all I'm hoping for. But y'all let me know, what do you think about Taika Waititi's comments on Thor 5? What would you like to see him tackle? I've seen some comments right here, and I totally agree with them. I would love for them to take on Rune King Thor. Rune King Thor is when Thor grows up. Thor grows up. He goes through some things and he matures. And I'd love to see, that's like one of his most powerful, elevations. I would love to see something like that as well. But y'all let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let's go. Larry, what you got? What up, man? I heard Sony has to make a Spider-Man related movie like every year to maintain the rights. Not sure if that's true or not, though. If I'm not mistaken, that is correct. I don't hit me on the specifics, but according to their deal, they do have to make a Spider-Man related anything. I want to say it's every 3 to 5 years. Again, don't quote me on that. But yeah, if they don't use Spider-Man within a certain amount of time, then the rights would revert back. So again, I don't have a problem with them doing it. I'm just like, just put Spider-Man in the Spider-Man stuff. nobody cares when you don't have Spider-Man in them like that. Like you're you're literally leaving $200 to $300 million on the table when you don't put Spider-Man in these movies. You put Spider-Man in there, you getting a couple hundred million easy. I mean, easy. People will show up for Spider-Man. Even some of the worst Spider-Man movies still made money because Spider-Man was in it. So why they're trying to do that, I don't know. They don't like money. They don't like. You can't like you. They hate money. You have to hate money to leave 200 to 300 million on the table every project, every time. Venom, Venom made a good chunk of money, 600-700 million. That could have been $1 billion movie. If you mean to tell me that you was going to kick off Venom with Spider-Man versus Venom and have Venom wash Spider-Man the first time, that could have been $1 billion movie. But they don't like money. I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. Chris, what you got? Off subject. Can James Cameron do Thundercats? First and foremost, James Cameron can do whatever the hell James Cameron wants. James Cameron is, I told you, he's Jordan in the finals. Like, all this dude does is deliver top $1 billion movies. Or if it's not $1 billion movie, it's a classic movie. Like, so, I mean, can Steph Curry hit a three? Yeah. So I have all confidence that if James Cameron wanted to do Thundercats, he could actually do that and knock it out the park. I trust everything he would do at this point. DC, what you got? They gonna make it funny again and mess it up again. Gotta ease up on the funny and give us more story and action. I totally agree. I mean, listen, nobody's saying that you got to go super dark, right? Nobody's saying you got to, do like DC was doing and go all super emo with stuff or whatever. You don't have to do that. You can tell a story, you can sprinkle in a couple jokes here and there and move forward. It's funny to me because when you think of a movie like Ant-Man, if you go back and watch the first Ant-Man, I was shocked. I went back and I kept thinking in my head, like, oh, Ant-Man is funny, it's a comedy and this and this. Ant-Man is not overly funny. Like, the vast majority of Ant-Man is a serious story, but there are some funny moments in it. And to me, I'm like, yo, Ant-Man felt like 60-40, maybe 65-35% serious to comedy. Like, Luis, comedy. But right after that, they get back into the business. Like, Ant-Man is a story about a father that wants to reconnect with his daughter. Like, it's not like a straight slapstick comedy. And to me, I'm thinking like, yo, that should be as funny as it gets. Think of like Guardians of the Galaxy, the first movie. Even that was not overly comedic. It definitely had some funny stuff in there. I mean, dancing at the end and all that, but it was still a pretty serious film. So to me, I'm like, yo, I'm with you on this, that they definitely need to scale back on the humor because it compromises the story a lot of times. Like when you try to do too much funny stuff, I'm sitting here thinking about the jokes and I'm not caring about what's actually happening in the story as much. And the jokes are temporary. Like once I get done laughing, I'm like, okay, let's get back to it. And if you're not really getting down to business, don't really care. Don't really care. So yeah, thank you, DC. I totally agree with you. Nelson, Gore should have appeared at the Coliseum to do damage. I totally agree. Like that would have been a game changer to have Gore go against like half of these, gods and goddesses and stuff, and just wax all of them. Like, but they didn't have the guts to do it. But yeah, totally with you on that. They should have done that. Mambo, thank you so much. Hey man, I love Thor, but he never beat Hela, and it was Surtur, maybe. Never beat Malekith. It was a wall. Never beat Gore since Gore beat himself. Facts. The only major villains Thor beat was Thanos and Loki. Well, and it was a weakened Thanos at that. He had to beat a Thanos that was already injured, already handicapped, living on disability, making his little ramen noodles, and that's all he got. And Loki, the brother that can't fight. I mean, Loki can fight, but compared to Thor, stop it. You're not totally wrong. You're not totally wrong, you know. So maybe Taika will think about that. I don't know. But yeah, no, you know what? Thor did beat a frost giant. He did beat a frost giant. I will give him that. I will give him that. So, you know, there's something. He beat the armor suit too. I don't care. I don't care. I tried. I don't care. Shogun, what you got? Everybody, put Spider-Man in your movies, Sony. But we're trying to do a build-up like the MCU did. Everybody, yeah, but that doesn't work with only villains. Facts. That's the weirdest thing to me is the fact that like people are actually saying we want Spider-Man in these movies, and Sony's like, I'm sorry, what y'all say? Hey, El Muerto's coming. Like, what? Are y'all like what? Y'all don't hear? Like, what's happening? What's happening? I don't get it. I don't get it. But yeah, thank you, Shogun. And that's exactly how they doing it. I don't know why, but they don't like money. They don't like money. What are we doing? Oh, let's do a little quick DCU update. So as we know, James Gunn and Peter Safran are taking over DC. And DC is in desperate need of a reboot. Okay, so unfortunately, their last 7 movies have just been terrible. Like they haven't even been able to crack $400 million. Marvel's worst movies have been able to be like, I think even Ant-Man made over 400 million. And Ant-Man was not a good movie, right? And it's kind of like they have to do something because right now it's not even a sinking ship. It's a submarine. Like this thing is already at the bottom. So there's nowhere to go but up at this point, right? So of course, James Gunn has revealed, the first phase of his movies and everything, the gods and monsters and all that. But we do have a chronological order that he did respond to, and this is what he ended up saying. He said that the question was, will DCU have a chronology posted somewhere that fans can access? And Gunn said yes. Here, first movie, Creature Commandos. 2, Superman Legacy. Nothing else is finished. It's being written, and it won't be until after the strike. Now, it is said here that Paradise Lost is expected to be the first entry into the DCU chronologically. So, even though Paradise Lost is not being written and it's not shot or anything, just chronology, in terms of like the actual chronological order, that's going to be the first one. And for those of you that don't know, James Gunn said that it's an origin story of how this society of women came about. What does it mean? Where are the politics like? What are their rules? Who's in charge? What are the games that they play with each other to get on top? And he thinks that's really exciting. And these are all the people before Wonder Woman. So this is Paradise Lost is the origin story of Wonder Woman's home island, Themyscira. And it takes place before she's even born. Now, I don't know how that's gonna work. Now I believe the rumor was that Paradise Lost was gonna be kind of like Game of Thrones in a sense, maybe, but I'm like, but you don't have Wonder Woman in there. Like, why would I care about the island of Amazonian women and your number one player is not even born yet? Now, maybe they're gonna throw some other people in there. Maybe I don't know. Nah, I was gonna say maybe they throw a Green Lantern or two, but this takes place thousands of years before that. So I don't know. I don't know. But y'all let me know. What do you think about that? I mean, one of my concerns, and one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this up was because I saw some people sitting here being worried that like with Blue Beetle bombing, or flopping, or let's just say because it hasn't finished yet, but it's not on a good path. With Blue Beetle not as successful as it could be, a lot of people are saying that like, yo, James Gunn's DCU is doomed. It's doomed to fail. It's not gonna work, etc. I'm gonna just say that like I'm not of that opinion yet. Are people going to be checking for, creature commandos or whatever? Probably not. I mean, it's animated. So I could see hardcore fans looking at creature commandos, but the real test is going to be Superman, right? I mean, actually, it's not even the real test because to be honest with you, even if Superman Legacy fails, I still don't think that's what's going to be indicative of whether the DCU works or not. The real test for James Gunn's DCU, it's not Superman Legacy. It's going to be Batman Brave and the Bold. Because whether you like it or not, Batman has been and always probably will be the heart and soul of the DCU. Now, better yet, let me say this a different way. Batman is the lifeline for DC. When in doubt, okay, when things are not looking too good, you throw Batman in there. Okay, look at what Suicide Squad did. They was like, man, listen, I don't know if the Joker gonna do it, Jared Leto, I don't know if Will Smith gonna do it. Hey, throw Ben Affleck's Batman in there. Throw him in there. Batman has the track record of earning more money and being a more popular character, in fictional pop culture. So if they screw up Superman, oh well, it happens. But if you screw up Batman, throw DC away. Because what else do you have to look forward to? If your most popular character can't even be your most successful movie, what are you doing? What are you doing? And in my opinion, that's one of the reasons why the DCEU with Zack Snyder was a colossal failure, because they got outperformed by characters that were less popular. The highest grossing movies were Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and I think it was the Suicide Squad. Yo, Justice League and yo, Batman v Superman couldn't have been billion-dollar movies. They're literally the most popular characters in comic book history. And if they couldn't carry the weight, you think these little B and C list characters are going to do it? That's a problem. This is the same way that I say for Marvel when people say like, oh, Marvel is done. Look at phase 4. It's whack. The Marvel sucks. They lost it. I'm like, could y'all hold on for a second? I'm not going to disagree. Phase 4 was whack. But guess what? Marvel still made $1 billion when they played with their A-team players. Y'all showed up for Spider-Man No Way Home. Don't act like you didn't, because you did. And guess what? Marvel, the true indication of whether or not Marvel's going to fail is going to be the X-Men. It's not going to be the Marvels. It's not going to be Captain America 4. It's not going to be, all these other side. It's the X-Men. Because if Marvel can't get the X-Men together, go home. It's the same way we looked at Fox, for years. You can have one or two, a couple of bad movies. That's understandable. It happens. Fox was dragging the X-Men for years. Yes, Days of the Future Past was good. Yes, X-Men First Class was cool. But damn it, Last Stand, Apocalypse, like what? Like y'all had so many dips that was so bad. Y'all were abusing the X-Men. So when it comes to Marvel, you got to get the X-Men right. If you can't get it right, fail. When it comes to DC, you have to get Batman right. If Batman is not right, I'm telling you, nothing else is going to work like that for the whole franchise. So before people start saying the sky is falling, my indicator is what y'all going to do with Batman. Superman might fail because you got all these Henry Cavill lovers and people that are like, the DC, it's not my Superman. Fine, whatever. But if y'all mess up on Batman, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. But anyway, y'all let me know, how are you feeling about the DCU so far? We got our new Superman. James Gunn is giving us the little chronological order. Let me know what you think. Are you optimistic? Are you willing to give it a shot? Whatever you think, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Listen, Alib, I was struggling to figure out what that movie was called. I knew I was gonna say the Jean Grey movie, but like I have put Dark Phoenix so far out of my mind. I remember when I first finished watching it, and I was like, I want to forget this movie. I want to forget it. I hate that movie. It's so bad. It's so bad. They piss me off so much. But anyway, let's see. We got the last couple topics. Okay, we are doing good time here. Oh, is it that time already? Okay, cool. Let's get this together then. It's time to watch some stuff, guys. All right, so here is the time. We are going to check out Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon. So for those of y'all that don't know, of course, Rebel Moon is Zack Snyder's property that it is his new movie that's coming out on Netflix. And it has, they basically let this man cook. They let this man do whatever he wanted to do. Now I've seen a lot of the thumbnails for it. I've seen a lot of the images, people talking about it. People have said it's really cool. But I haven't seen it yet. So I'm gonna check it out with you guys for the first time. And let me just say, because I, even though I saw some of the thumbnails and stuff, one thing I know about about Zack Snyder is that he's gonna make something visually amazing. So that right off the bat, I'm fully anticipating that. But I have been very curious about what Rebel Moon is. I have no idea. So let's check it out together and see what it's all about.
Do you know the story of the Princess Issa? In myth, she was called the Redeemer. It was said this child would stop the madness of war. That she was to usher in a new age of peace and compassion. I was given memories of a world I will never see. Loyalty to a king I cannot serve. And love for a child I could not save.
What do you think they want?
Everything.
I found her. Scargiver.
I am a child of war. I was taught that love is weakness. There is a difference between justice and revenge.
There is a price to pay for your defiance. Shh. One moment. I do love this part.
Hold on.
I don't want no trouble.
We're not here to bring any.
Are you ready?
You and I both know fear. Let's show them that we're not afraid. Let's show them we are more than the shackles that bind us.
This man love him some slow motion. I said.
A king is a man and a man can fail. But a myth is indestructible.
The time has come for all that you love. Protect each other and show them no mercy.
Who among you is willing to die for what you believe?
Wow. Wow. Okay. Hey, listen. That looks good. It looks good. It looks interesting. I'll say that. Man, that man loved slow motion. If he can get somebody in the air and do some slow motion jumps, he gonna do it. Shot man, them lightsabers. That thing listen. First of all, this whole thing looks just like Star Wars meets Dune. So I'm already in on that. I love Sophia Boutella. I think she is amazing and very underrated as an actress. She's not like gonna win Oscars or nothing, but she can do action so well. Like, because she comes from like a dance and ballet background or something, and she's a very good physical actress, you know. So I am definitely in on that. That was really good casting there. Yeah, I don't have any concerns about Zack Snyder with this visually, you know, because this looks really good. Matter of fact, I I I'm kind of sad that this is coming on Netflix. Like, if I'm Netflix, I would drop this in the theaters. Like, with all them visuals, this looks like something that should be seen on a big screen, not at my crib, not at my house. Like, I mean, that, you know, like I'm gonna crank up the surround sound and all that, but this looked like something that need to be seen on a real big IMAX screen or something. But yeah, listen, I don't really, you know, I get, you know, Rebel Moon, so it's just, you know, a rebel faction going against the people. I don't know, whatever. The concept seems basic enough. I don't really care what the concept is. Like, at this point, I feel like when you go to these movies, you're going for the visuals and it should take care of itself. Now the one thing I am nervous about is the story, because this is an original IP, right? So that just means that, you know, and the fact that we have two parts. Now we're going to talk about that in a second here. But the fact that we have two parts, it does kind of concern me, because I also understand that, you know, Snyder wanted to tell a lot of different stuff. Now, before I get into the critique with that, and we'll talk about that in the next topic, the thing with Snyder is I get nervous. Well, no, I won't say that. I'll say that because it's an actual original IP, I think that actually works in his favor. Because one of the things that I've, you know, and let me be clear, because I think a lot of people misconstrue when I'm critical of somebody, that doesn't mean that I hate them. Let me be very clear. I like Zack Snyder. Like, I don't have a problem with Zack Snyder as a filmmaker per se. But at the same time, I am critical of Zack Snyder. I do have issues with how he tells his stories depending on the story. There are things that Zack Snyder has done that I absolutely love. 300, love it. This man went to work and I love that movie. Batman v Superman, and I'm talking about even the extended edition. I got some issues with that, you know? So Zack Snyder is one of those directors that I like a lot, but I'm not like in love with everything that he does. But I don't hate him either. But I always believed one thing. Zack Snyder is the kind of director, because of the way his mind works, because of his vision, The best thing to let this man do is to let him work with original IPs. When you put Zack Snyder in the position of working with something that people know and that people come in with expectations with, that's where things start to get muddy. That's where Zack Snyder likes to go into these alternate directions or these very obscure places that a lot of people are like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Now, when you look at something like 300, there were no expectations with that. Nobody cared. Nobody knew nothing about the Spartans like that. So he was free to do whatever he wanted to do. And guess what? We were there for the ride. And it worked. It worked. I was like, yo, can I tell y'all how many times I was saying I am Sparta? We are Sparta. That's legendary. You know, the kick, that slow motion kick into the pit. You can't get that out your mind. But when you take a property that is so well known, like Superman, like Batman, that comes with heavy expectations from decades of stories and stuff, it's not the time to bring in someone like Zack Snyder, because the vision that he had for Batman and Superman, that's something that you would do in comics or in animation. The whole Snyderverse would have been perfectly suited if it was in animation form, mainly because the way that he treated the mainstream characters, they don't really work for general audiences that are not comic book readers. That's why I believe a lot of his fans are people that are familiar with his work and familiar with how comics go into different directions. But the average person, they're like, yo, that's not what Superman would do. Wait, why is Batman killing people? Wait, what is this? What is that? Like, that's where you get like the divide, you know? So I am happy for James Gunn. I'm happy for Zack Snyder having Rebel Moon, because nobody has any expectations. No one's going in there like you wouldn't want to give Zack Snyder Star Wars, right? Because now people gonna be like, that's not how Luke would do it. That's not what a Skywalker would do. You're not gonna have none of that. Right now, you're just gonna go in, you're gonna keep an open mind and see what happens. And hopefully it goes well. So right now, I like the trailer. I was already excited to see what he was gonna do with Rebel Moon. I think at this point, like I said, it's an open, canvas. This man can paint whatever he wants to paint, and we'll just see what happens and go along for the ride. So you let me know. How did you feel about the trailer? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What was your favorite parts? Whatever it is, let me know in the comments down below. I have to give a shout out to Loki. Thank you so much for $20 in the Cash App for the channel support. I'm gonna send some love right back. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate you, Loki. You're always coming through and helping out the channel. Let's see, Puma, what you say? Am I calling Thor Mackie? No. I know what you're referring to in terms of not beating nobody. No, I'm not saying that. Now, Thor might be Sam Wilson, but Thor can fight. That's the difference. Thor can fight. He just hasn't had great opponents, but Thor can fight. That's the real difference right there. Anywho, so we're gonna stick on this Zack Snyder thing. Now, listen, everybody knows that there's the infamous, whole thing with the Snyder Cut, right? Zack Snyder going back and forth with the studios interfering a lot, and because of the studio interference, his vision and his movies were definitely messed up. But he did come back with like much longer versions of his movies to finish their stories. Now, they improved the stories, sure, but when you go from like really bad theatrical releases to okay extended editions, I think a lot of people overestimated the gap. Like when you go from like -500 to like 5, that's a very big jump. but that 5 ain't a 10. You know, like you just came from negative 500. Like it's not the same thing. But either way, here we go again. Because Zack Snyder apparently wants yet another cut. Yes, he's going to release not only his film in 2 parts, but he's also going to do a director's cut. Let me see if this was. Yes. Okay. So he's going to do, as you saw, 2 parts, but this is one of the reasons why behind the whole 2-parter thing. Netflix boss Scott Stuber was like, on the service, under 2-hour movies really do better for some reason, even though people will binge a series of 8 episodes. And, you know, Zach said, if you ask me to make this movie less than 2 hours, I'm going to lose all the character. You won't care about these people. It's a character story about how people can change and redemption and what you're willing to fight for. So he said, what if I give you 2 movies? Okay. So here's the thing. Rebel Moon originally was going to be a 3-hour plus movie. And the studio was like, hold on, bro. Like, we're not HBO Max. You're not about to drop no 4-hour movie. We don't do that. People don't watch that. And to be honest, that's true. I believe it because I know it's true for me, at least. I will watch an episodic show for X amount of time because psychologically and mentally, it feels like I can always take breaks. Just because I watch, let's say, 4 or 5 episodes of a show, that doesn't mean I watch them all together at one time. I could watch like the first 30 minutes, pause it after the first episode, go get some food, go out, run an errand, come back, watch another couple episodes, pause it, go walk my dog, go play on my phone, come back, watch another episode. I can do that. But when it comes to a movie, you don't have those type of mental breaks with like a 3 to 4 hour movie. It doesn't work that way. So psychologically, the way we interact with movies versus TV shows are different. So I do agree with the Netflix folks when they were like, yo, people are not going to go sit there for a 3-hour movie. And to be honest, sometimes that can be intimidating. Think about it like this. You sitting down, you like, all right, man, it's like, I don't know, 10 o'clock. Let's see what's there, what's on to watch. Ooh, Zack Snyder's movie. Ooh, 3 hours. Man, I gotta be up at work in a little bit. I don't know. Man, I'll watch that later because it's 3 hours long. You got to get up and go to work or whatever, right? But if it's like a 8-episode TV show, you could be like, you know what? I could watch 1 or 2, maybe fall asleep on 3 and come back later. No big deal. It's different. So anyway, so he said, let me get y'all 2 movies. Okay, cool. You getting all the stuff you want, your 2 movies. That's fine. All right, so let's keep going with this. He said the first cut is going to explore the fantasy adventure in a way that anyone can enjoy and watch, while the other cut will be focused on adults and Snyder's super fans. He says here, I think for fans of mine and people who are ready to take a deeper, harder dive, that'll be fun for them. So I had to really wrestle with this in my mind because, and I'll be fully transparent. At first, I got annoyed when I heard that he was going to make another cut of this movie. I was like, damn it, here we go again. Here we go again with another Snyder cut this and a Snyder cut that. And why is he doing this? What he knows how his fan base can be and all that. Why? Netflix already gave you the green light. They already said you can do your movie and just split it into 2. Why you gotta have a whole nother cut? Why can't you just get your story out? Why folk come? Then I had to reel it back and I had to realize something. He's an artist. And director cuts happen. They are a thing, right? We've seen director cuts before. And they've been fine. But I guess what I think I started to realize was that I wasn't really having a problem with Snyder having a director's cut. I was having more of an issue, and I think I was reacting more so to his fan base and all the baggage that comes whenever Snyder is involved with a director's cut. That's what I was, at first I thought like, oh, Snyder, what are you doing? And I'm like, no. It's the fans. It's the hardcore social media folks, not the ones that are peaceful, not the ones that are just fans of his. I'm talking about the trolls, the people that are abusive. I'm talking about the harassers. I'm talking about the people that sound like bots online. Those are the people that I was hoping would not get gaslit in any way, shape, or form with just the sound of another Snyder cut. I mean, to this day, these are the same people to this day that are making Release the Snyder Cut still trend online. They don't show up for the DC movies, but they still be talking real loud. And I'm just like, damn it, why are you doing it? Why can't you just put out a movie when the studio literally let you do all of this stuff? Why can't you just get your movie out? And now, so he's saying like the first cut of the movie is going to be all the fantasy and all that. And the second one is going to be like almost an hour long. It's going to be like an hour long, but it's more mature for adults. It's Netflix, bro. Just drop the 4-hour cut if that's the case. Just drop it. Like, why do we have to have the PG version and then the adult version? Because now the other frustration, okay, now this is where I'm going to have my beef with Snyder. Okay, at first it was with the fans. Now my beef with Snyder is, bro, I'm not trying to watch your movie twice. Like, I want to watch, like, back in the day, when we had stuff like Lord of the Rings, I was a Lord of the Rings fan. That was like one of the first real thick books I read in grammar school, like a book series. So I was a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I watched every Lord of the Rings movie that came out. But I watched them with the knowledge at the time that that's all we were going to get. Had you told me that we were going to get a Lord of the Rings extended edition version or whatever ahead of time, why would I bother go watching the original movie? For what? I have no desire to watch that if I know you're going to give me more later, right? That extended cut did not exist. It was not announced, at least not to my knowledge, until after the movies came out. So here's my thing. If Zack Snyder wanted to do this Snyder cut of Rebel Moon, I wish he would have just been quiet about it. Just don't say nothing. Because here's the other thing. What if the movie sucks? Has anyone thought about that? What if Rebel Moon is a terrible movie? What if Rebel Moon does not get watched? I'm not saying that will happen. I'm just saying, what if that leaves such a bad taste in people's mouths that now you're only making this director's cut not to help Netflix, not to help generate more money, not to generate more subs or views or anything like that, but you're only doing it for a small percentage of the audience. I'm just saying, like, maybe just save that announcement for after the movie comes out. And then once the movie is number one on Netflix or whatever, once people have watched it, once you've basically suckered people into watching it, then say, hey, by the way, since y'all love this so much, now we can have some more. That's a little bit different. But now, I'll be honest, I'm a little conflicted. I don't know if I really want to watch the first cut of Rebel Moon until I can just watch the full thing. You know, at least that's the way I'm feeling right now. So this other article continues on, and it says here Rebel Moon shouldn't need a director's cut. And I actually agree with that. It says Rebel Moon is for Netflix and is already released in 2-part movie. Director's cuts are normally considered reactive and corrective, giving fans a promise of an improvement. Yes, definitely agree with that. But this is what Zack Snyder had to say about why they're doing this. The Rebel Moon director's cut is close to an hour of extra content, so I think it's a legitimate extended universe version. you really get to see a lot. It's just more painted in all the way. The director's cut is a settle in deep dive, which I have notoriously done throughout my career. I don't know how I got into the director's cut thing, but I will say about this. But what I will say about this is that for me, the director's cuts have always been something I had to fight for in the past, and nobody wanted it. Let me read that again. The director's cuts have always been something I had to fight for in the past, and nobody wanted it. It was also this bastard child that I was always trying to put together because they felt like there was a deeper version. And with Netflix, we shot scenes just for the director's cut. So in that way, it's really a revelation because it gives that second kick at the can for big fans, like a real discovery that they would not otherwise get. I'm really excited about it. So I'm totally on board with what they said before about like how director's cut usually come after. And let me say this. I would be in full support because right now I'm apprehensive. Like I said, I'd rather watch this director's cut now that I know it's coming out rather than watching 2 movies just to watch this movie again with an extended 3-hour cut later. Like it feels like too much work. But I feel like at this point, if you were to tell me, because this is something I used to like when things came out on Blu-ray, physical media, or whatever. I used to love it when we would get a director's cut, but the point of the director's cut was to show you not a completely different movie, but maybe a different ending. So for me, if you're telling me that, Rebel Moon is coming out with a director's cut and all we gonna do is just add more filler, that's not really a lot to help me. But if you were to tell me that, in this director's cut, we gonna have an alternate ending, okay, now you have my attention. I used to love alternate endings on DVDs. Like even if it was a deleted scene or whatever, that by itself was always something. No, I take that back. There were 2 things that made me buy physical media or make me want physical media: deleted alternate endings and director's commentary when, like, let's say the ending was ambiguous or something like that. I need to hear from the director. So if you give me those 2 things, go ahead with your director's cut. But if your cut is just a whole bunch of extra footage, it's a what we finna go see? We gonna see the character looking at the sun a little longer? We gonna see some character singing a song a little longer? Like, what are you talking about? What are we gonna what exactly is there for us to go see with all this filler content? So unless you give me an alternate ending or something that radically changes the story, I'm struggling here. That's all. I'm just struggling. So we got a little more in this article. Martin Scorsese, y'all boy, classic director. He said when he was asked about if he would ever do a director's cut of one of his movies, he said, no. The director's cut is the film that's released unless it's been taken away from the director by the financiers and the studio. Listen, we've had some issues with Martin Scorsese on this channel before, but I agree with Martin Scorsese here. That makes a good point. If the studio interfered with your vision, if they was like, nah, we gonna cut this, cut that, and now the movie came out whack, now a director's cut makes more sense. But just putting the movie out just to do it, it's kind of like, well, but why didn't you just do it from the beginning? Why didn't you just, if you don't have any restrictions, why not just do it and the movie will be the director's cut? You know what I'm saying? Like if the studio don't interfere, if you get your vision out there, that is the director's cut. But whatever. Now, counterpoint, Peter Jackson released his acclaimed extended editions of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and George Lucas also released various editions of the Star Wars trilogy. Plus, of course, a second, but wait, this version is different or better, is a way of potentially generating more revenue, not just getting another artistic bite of the apple. Sure. But again, I don't know if the Snyder cut of Rebel Moon is going to soar up or drive up the subscriptions on Netflix. Maybe it will. I don't know. But y'all let me know. How do you feel about not only the Rebel Moon trailer, but knowing that this is going to have a full hour worth of extra content? It didn't seem like it's going to be alternate stuff. So it just seems like it's going to be more filler information. How does that make you feel about Rebel Moon? Do you want to see the director's version and the original version? Do you want to see one or the other? Whatever you think, let me know in the comments down below. Oh, Winsome, thank you so much for that. I appreciate the support. Thank you so much. All right, let's get to the last topic. And we got Denzel. That's right, with Equalizer. So, in case y'all didn't know, for a long time, legendary, iconic actor Denzel Washington has sworn up and down that he would never do a sequel, right? And then my man came out with Equalizer, and it was great. I liked the first Equalizer a lot. Okay, directed by Antoine Fuqua. Really, really good movie. Then after swearing he would never do a sequel, the inevitable happened. My man did Equalizer 2. And everybody was like, what? Like after all this time, now you doing a sequel? Okay. Now, I don't think Equalizer 2 was all that great. I liked it, but it wasn't as good as the first one. So I was cool with it, but it was a little forgettable to me. And then out of nowhere, because Denzel's out there, producing and directing and stuff like that, this man came out and said he's doing Equalizer 3. Now, Equalizer 3 does seem to be a lot more violent. Seems to be a lot more action oriented compared to the other ones. So, we'll see how that goes. But the reason why this is being brought up today is because the director Antoine Fuqua was, doing his interviews and stuff because the actors and writers are on strike, so the directors are able to do this. And he was asked a very interesting question, which was, would you be willing, or like, have you thought about doing a prequel series, or a prequel movie? Now, keep in mind, the Equalizer was based on like some old school TV show. I didn't know that. But in terms of the movies, they were saying like, yo, would you ever do a prequel? And that's brought up the question, what about a de-aged Denzel Washington? And apparently the director has been considering that. He's considering doing a de-aged, digitally de-aged version of Denzel for an origin story. So he said here, I definitely thought about it a lot, especially now with the new technology and the AI and all that kind of stuff. Is there a story to be told about McCall became or how McCall became this person, the younger version? I've had that conversation with Richard Wenk, the writer, quite a bit. Now, other examples of the aging, you had Harrison Ford in Indiana Jones, the more recent one, and you also had Robert De Niro in The Irishman. That was something too. Now he said here, I haven't talked to Denzel about it yet, about the de-aging. It's all so fresh and new. I'm still watching the technology. I've watched Harrison Ford's film, and I know there are other movies coming out. I think Sony has one coming out with Tom Hanks very soon, and I'm hearing the technology is getting better and better and better. So I'm kind of watching to see where it goes. Okay. So, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, you know what? We did see Will Smith de-aged in Gemini Man. That was a little wonky, but that was years ago. I thought they did actually a pretty good job with Harrison Ford. You know, like they just had so much footage of him. I thought they did a pretty good job with him in Indiana Jones. And Irishman, De Niro, not so much. That was bad. You had the young face on an old man body, didn't work. Did not work. Now the question is like, yo, why don't y'all just get another actor? Like, why do you? I love Denzel. It does not have to be Denzel. It could be some other younger actor. And then I mean, I think one of the most obvious things is why don't y'all just use his son? They literally have the same voice. If you've ever heard these dudes talk, they talk with the same, whatever. Like you close your eyes, I'm sure they can imitate each other, And apparently, common sense went through because the director is also considered that. He's also considered having Denzel's son potentially play him, in a prequel, which makes sense, right? I mean, you saw him in Tenet. He knows how to play the smooth, I don't know what that person was, the protagonist in Tenet. He was fine. He was doing the job there. And, we got the whole son thing. It works. I think it works. In this interview, though, he says that the director said, I think it's a really good idea to do that and to go back. You can get Michael B. Jordan or somebody to be that young McCall. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm sorry. I mean, I have no problem with Michael B. Jordan. I just don't think that he needs to be every other black character all the time. I think that you could find other people, maybe even young talent, new talent, something like that. Michael B. Jordan is not the only answer. This is one of the reasons. This is one of the reasons why I talk about recast T'Challa, because the problem is we don't, and this happens even in Hollywood. Once you have one black actor doing something, everybody thinks it's got to be just that black actor. There are a lot of other talented black actors that could go out there and do this stuff. You ain't got to just, Michael B. ain't got to be the only one. Went from Sidney Poitier to Denzel Washington to only Will Smith to only Michael B. Jordan. Like, come on now. We got options now. But I do like John David. I think that's a good one. And then, when it was brought up to him, the reporter was like, the journalist was like, why not John David Washington? And Fuqua was like, even better. Wouldn't that be amazing? That's a good idea. How cool would that be? And I totally agree. I definitely think that, if they did it, I would watch it, Now, I know John David does not have the same star power that his dad has, but I think the way that you make that work, have them both in the movie. Have them both in there. Just show the past and the present. You show half of the movie with Denzel in there, reminiscent of his old life. And then, boom, you just show his son playing him at a younger age. You just had, and what is it, in that Godzilla Kong spinoff, Kurt Russell and his son Wyatt Russell. Remember Captain Not America from Falcon and Winter Soldier? That's Kurt Russell's son. First of all, they do definitely favor each other, but you got Wyatt playing the younger version of the same character that Kurt Russell's playing. Do it. Y'all use nepotism in Hollywood already anyway. Just do this. Anyway, I like the idea of having John David play his dad at a younger version. I think they both should be in the movie. I think that would actually be a better way to make it work. But y'all let me know, what do you think about an Equalizer prequel movie? Is that even something that you would like to see? Do you have faith in the technology and maybe de-aging will work on Denzel and forget his son? Whatever you think, let me know in the comments down below. All right, guys, that is a wrap. Ooh, look at that. Under 2.5 hours. Not even at 2.5. Woo-wee. I didn't think we was going to make it, but we did. We did. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with your boy once again. Really appreciate it. You guys know, like I already said at the top of the show, probably is not going to be nothing happening this week. If there's some crazy news, If something wow happens, I will see what I can do for y'all. But outside of that, it's probably not gonna happen because it's that fantasy week coming up next week. So y'all not gonna see me in these streets at all. Okay, I'm gonna be in these fantasy books, and yeah, that's it. That's it. So anyway, guys, you know the routine. Why? Almost you beat me to it. Shogun, what you got? DH Denzel. They might use as a selling gimmick for the next movie. His son sounds similar, but not face wise to me. That is true. But JD would be a good second choice. Yeah, I mean, listen, I like John David. I think he's actually a really good actor. And I think it could work. It all just depends. I just think that if you bring Denzel in, you're doing it for the marketing. You're doing it just to, get that, just to get the people, the butts in the seats. But it is what it is. But anyway, yes. Okay, what was it? Where did I leave off? You know the routine. Wash your hands, wash your butts. Have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy yourself. Be safe out there. And guys, I will see y'all next week. Peace.